It's the Wilk Report. I'm Michael Wilk, coming to you from Cleveland, Ohio, to give you my reaction to Terminator Dark Fate trailer that just dropped today. It's really intense. I had to look at it a couple times before I could make heads or tails of it. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to the trailer now here on YouTube. Got this queued up. And I'm going to try and keep my mouth shut during the trailer while it plays. So let's hope I don't get copyright strike from YouTube here.
2 days ago, I had this nice, simple life. And now it's a nightmare.
If travel is
Okay, that's a nod to Terminator 2.
and home has been found, I'm not stopping.
Whoa. Wait, seriously?
I'm going hunting.
Okay, what the hell is this?
I'm the hunter.
Oh, wow. Well, Lindsay Hamilton's back.
Who are you?
My name is Sarah Connor. Never seen one like you before. Almost human.
I am human.
Yeah,
do you care what
shades of
happens to
Terminator
her?
salvation there.
Because I was her.
Whoa.
How do we win?
We win by keeping you alive.
All right, she's clearly pissed, and he's clearly coming back.
I'm going hunting.
All right, can we do something about the music in these trailers? Because I'm having unpleasant flashbacks to the Batwoman trailer where, and if you ever wonder why all music sounds the same today, you can actually look this up on YouTube. There's a video that shows why all the music sounds the same, but they're just repeating the same couple of phrases and that's it. It's like, no, sorry, no, it's bad. Bad music. Change it out, please. All right, this does not fill me with confidence because even though the story is by James Cameron along with Charles Eagley and Josh Friedman, but it's got David Goyer co-writing the screenplay, so I'm not convinced that this is going to be as good as we're hoping. I mean, directed by Tim Miller, obviously, but they're really hyping the return of James Cameron to active involvement in the franchise. David Goyer, his work is kind of hit and miss. But you know, let's rewind here, unpack some of this, and see if we can. All right, so we've got Danny Ramos, who's a young woman being chased.
Nightmare.
Yeah, now this is a direct ripoff of a scene from Terminator 2 Judgment Day where the T-1000 is chasing Edward Furlong's John Connor, and he goes into this kind of concrete ravine looking, and the T-1000, which has hijacked a truck, bursts through the wall and to come through and kind of chase. So yeah, we're looking at scenes being ripped off from other movies, and also elements being ripped off from previous entries.
If travel is searching.
Yeah, same kind of reaction that Edward Furlong's character had in Terminator 2. So I mean, you can really see, they're really ripping off a lot here from its own mythos.
And home has been found. I'm not stopping.
But this is what really makes me go, what the fuck? Because we're seeing a Terminator here that's kind of looks similar to the TX from Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, where it's a metal endoskeleton with a liquid metal skin. But then there's also shades of the T-3000 from Terminator Genesis. But here's an interesting twist. It looks like its liquid metal exterior can separate from the endoskeleton and act as an independent unit here. And that does kind of look cartoony. I mean, they try, but yeah, I mean, it's CGI, so they can't really make it work. I'm thinking, you should probably have had an actor stand in. Yeah, so, but let's continue here. Right, so yeah, so Mackenzie Davis's character obviously is not quite human herself, but she's not a Terminator in the sense of being an endoskeleton with cloned flesh. Looks like there's some kind of metal mesh underneath the skin.
I'm going hunting.
Yeah, let's take a look here, see if we can't. All right, so yeah, we've got the Terminator's endoskeleton here exposed. Really stripped down version. I mean, you don't even see on the face here where the teeth are, because usually on T-800s are like these little pistons and stuff that operate in place of facial muscles when it's covered in flesh. But obviously you wouldn't really need it here for this unit. But if you look, you can see like through the chassis here. And where's its hardware inside the brain case? Because ordinarily, I mean, for example, in the T-800s, in the endoskull, there's like all sorts of computer hardware and along with the chip that's the central processing unit. That does not appear to be present here in this. Or if it is present, it's, I mean, I don't know why it's got this gap here. And then, of course, you can see the actor playing the outer skin in the top right corner. But yeah, this thing really I mean, it's way different from anything we've seen before, but at the same time, they're trying to make it look familiar. You've got, but it's like all this blackened metal, maybe to prevent rusting. I don't know. I mean, it looks cool, much more frightening in many ways than the T-800s. And of course, you've got Linda Hamilton back as Sarah Connor, and look at those pipes that she's sporting. I mean, if you think Arnold Schwarzenegger is the only geriatric in Hollywood who keeps in shape well into his old age, I mean, no, he's not alone. Because Linda Hamilton, if you remember from Terminator 2, she really got in shape. I mean, because she started off in the original Terminator, she had, just a regular slim build, and then she got really, really ripped for Terminator 2, because her character had undergone this evolution from ordinary woman to badass mother of the future, and now she's the grandmother of the future, and she's still pretty badass. But look at the weaponry she's sporting here. Okay, and we see the outer skin of the Terminator here, getting holes blown into him. Obviously not going to stop him. And then she brings out a bazooka. Oh my god, she is not playing around here. Yeah, I mean, let's see if we can replay this. Yeah, she just blows apart the endoskeleton here, or seems to.
Who are you?
Yeah, and she's acting like, oh, come on, like you don't know who I am. I'm Sarah Connor. I'm the mother of the guy who probably sent you back in time. But look at how tiny the actress here is here. She's like 4 foot nothing.
My name is Sarah Connor. Never seen one like you before. Almost human.
Yeah, almost human. Yeah, because you see the screen cap here. Yeah, there's some kind of metal mesh underneath the skin, so maybe enhanced human.
Human.
I am human. Why do you care what happens to her?
Because I was her.
Yeah, then we've got Arnold here. Now, it's pretty iffy because early reports suggested he would be playing the human on which the T-800s were modeled, and now we seem to be getting rumors that he's actually playing an aged T-800. So, yeah, I'm not sure what to think about this because, honestly, Arnold's over 70. He can't believably play a cyborg anymore. And I would rather he played the human on which the T-800s were modeled and play it that way and, do something a little bit different. Because honestly, having another Terminator in a movie full of Terminators already, it's just, no, I can't, I hope that this isn't the case here, but it looks like I might be wrong about that. All right, let's see if we can rewind here. Yeah, because it looks like we've got a couple Terminators battling underwater, so yeah, maybe Schwarzenegger is playing another T-800 and, he's fighting the main baddie here. All right, so now you've got a bunch of refugees on a train, and there's Mackenzie Davis's character.
How do we win?
We win by keeping you alive.
Who is this girl whose survival is so important here? And now this is a pretty badass here. So I mean, you've got the whole metal endoskeleton and liquid metal outer sheath, and they can separate and act independently of one another. So, that's actually a pretty badass concept. I'm not sure if it belongs in another Terminator sequel, because it seems like every time they go back and reset the timeline, the Terminators become more and more advanced every time you reset it. So, wow. Yeah, this is interesting, but also cause for some alarm on my part.
I'm going hunting.
Now, and again, can we please, for the love of God, get some different music here? Because it just is really, oh my God, dude. So yeah, we've got a lot to unpack here because I'm cautiously optimistic because James Cameron is involved, but at the same time I'm apprehensive because one, you've got David Goyer here who's actually on the screenwriting credits, and I mean, he's pretty hit and miss. I mean, if you look at Dark City, yeah, that's one of the movies that wasn't quite as good as it should have been, considering. But let's go ahead and check out here. Check out the James Cameron Dark Fate featurette here.
How do we win?
We win by keeping you alive.
Action, action, action!
Terminator Dark Fate is the direct sequel to Terminator 2. We pick up the characters that we knew from Terminator 2.
All right,
and we
so
carry
hang
them
on.
forward.
Let me pause this real quick because we've got a screen cap here from the featurette showing looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger is again playing a T-800, which does not again fill me with much confidence here. So I'm not going to play the whole thing here because I'm already probably skirting copyright strike action with the trailer. But let's go ahead and head over to their Twitter account. Yeah, trailer dropped today, obviously. Sarah effing Connor, Gabriel Luna playing the new Terminator here. But let's unpack Hollywood Reporter here, because it says moves beyond the past, but it seems like they're stuck in the past still, because it's taking place in the present day. And it looks like a rehash of the first two films. So, yeah, I'm not really all that confident here. She's back. Thursday morning, Paramount Pictures released the first trailer for Terminator Dark Fate, the sixth Terminator film, but one that removes the third, fourth, and fifth entries from continuity, and instead directly follows the Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Directed by Tim Miller, Dark Fate touts the return of creator James Cameron, now in the role of producer. In a behind-the-scenes video promoting the film, Cameron says Dark Fate, quote, has recaptured the tone of those first two films. It's gritty, it's fast, it's intense. But it also seems to rip off heavily from the three movies it struck from continuity. So, yeah, this is... because if you go back and watch the trailer, they were ripping off bits from Terminator 2, and Mackenzie Davis's character seems to be a rip-off of Sam Worthington's character from Terminator Salvation. So, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, you might be trying to escape the past and move forward, but, yeah, you really can't do that. Especially when you're ripping off so heavily from previous movies. But, yeah, I mean, they do make a point here. The return of Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor after 27 years, yeah, I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, her presence in this movie might actually salvage it. But I'm not really convinced that bringing Arnold Schwarzenegger back again as a Terminator is really the right way to go. Because that's been done before, and I would love for it to have been true that he played the human on which the Terminators are based, but obviously, if that's not going to be done, then why is he even in it? Because why is he even needed? So yeah, we've got Danny Ramos, played by Natalia Reyes, who's under the protection of Grace, played by Mackenzie Davis, who, yeah, again, is a human Terminator hybrid, much like Sam Worthington's character Marcus in 2009's Terminator Salvation. So, So yeah, it looks like Danny is now in the young John Connor mode. But it's asking, were the prophecies surrounding John Connor wrong, or did the prevention of Judgment Day in T2 create a different robot apocalypse? Well, it certainly seems to be the case. Because every time they reset the timeline, things get radically different. But here's where I get concerned, okay? Because I say either way, for a franchise founded on badass women, it seems like a logical next step that the future no longer just be beholden to a man. And, that is just pandering to women by bashing men. And there's just no way to forgive that, because if they're pandering, that's going to diminish the quality of the story. Okay, and also they're touting that the cast is largely Hispanic and Latino and appears to be set in and around Mexico. There's a feeling that Cameron, who's never been one to shy away from social allegories in his films, definitely has something to say about borders, immigration, and where our best chance at a future stems from. As much as the cerebral nature of these films is centered on time travel and fighting robots, the heart comes from the focus placed on saving people and allowing them to mature into their best selves. Okay, so yeah, it looks like they're going for woke here, but I could get into a rant that would take way longer than this video needs to be, so I'm just going to skip over here and say, Grace adds another wrinkle to the Terminator mythos. While we've seen a human Terminator hybrid before, Marcus, played by Sam Worthington in Terminator Salvation, Grace seems fully aware of her origins. Her role to protect Danny seems like an amalgamation of the roles of T-800 and Sarah Connor played in T2. What's interesting about the trailer is that it positions us in the middle of a new story with new characters, one that crosses paths with Sarah Connor's story but isn't reliant on nostalgia or retreading beats we've seen before, despite a number of parallels. And of course, obvious parallels, because you're ripping off scenes from T2 and the first Terminator, and you're ripping off material from the 3 movies you've struck from canon. So, yeah, obviously there's a number of parallels here. But even with some of these characters sharing traits with previous ones, this looks like the first effort in the franchise since 1991 to carve out a new path. Well, I'm not so sure. Even Schwarzenegger's appearance isn't played for novelty. Instead, his role, be it as a T-model or human, suggests something more mysterious and interesting than familiar one-liners. So, and then of course Gabriel Luna's new Advanced Terminator, which looks like a combination of T2's T-1000 and Terminator Genisys's T-3000, played by Jason Clarke, but also, elements of the TX from T3. So, yeah, because it had a liquid metal skin. So, but here's the thing though, is that, and moving to IO9 Gizmodo, it points out that, there's this, the new Terminator, played by Gabriel Luna, power is to create a carbon copy doppelganger of himself. Well, not quite, because it looks like the liquid skin and the metal endoskeleton are 2 separate units that work together but can operate independently. So it's not exactly a carbon copy doppelganger. It's more like he can detach his outer skin and have it fight as its own battle unit. So, yeah, so I'm... Yeah, this seems like, something that I couldn't really... I wish I could say I'm looking forward to this movie, but there are reasons for me to be apprehensive, because one, you've got David Goyer, who's never really been the best at writing science fiction or dark fantasy. It looks like they're trying to, at least Hollywood Reporter is trying to play this up as some kind of like woke movie, which it might not be actually. Because James Cameron, even though he does like to load his movies with strong female characters, but that seems to be the extent to which it panders to certain demographics. Because if there's one thing to be said for James Cameron, is that his female characters are actual characters, sympathetic characters, strong in ways that are demonstrated on the screen. You actually see how and why they become strong, because they start off maybe weaker than they otherwise were by the time the movie ends. So, he's not one to write Mary Sue's, but, again, I'm not confident with the way this is being peddled in the press. So, yeah, what do you think? Are you looking forward to this movie? Are you dreading it? I want to hear from you. If you like what you've heard and you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to receive notifications whenever we upload new content. And if you want to help support the channel, keep the lights on, help us bring you more content, head over to our Patreon or subscribe to our page. We can't do this without you. Until next time, this is Michael Wilk for The Wilk Report saying take care, good night, I'm out.